Okay, so hello, future million dollar squad. It's Miss Antonia from AQA. And today we're diving deep into the world of numbers, algorithms, and quants. In today's exclusive interview with Quant Henry, we're peeling back the layers of the quant universe, where basically math meets money and dreams turn into digits. Do you think you need crazy coding skills to break the quant firewall? Nah, you just need to watch our channel. So grab your calculators and hold onto your phones because we're about to break into the world of quant trading, where every single second counts and so does every single decimal. So ready to decode the secrets of making money with code? Let's get the algorithmic party started. By the way, before you start, click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe before watching, and let's dive right into it. So, first of all, Henry, it's so nice to see you again. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, just off work. It's 8:30 p.m. over here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty early here in the other side of the world. But I wanted to ask you, as a quant wizard, while you quietly crunch numbers, have you ever been part of a sneaky smart move that scored a massive market win? So basically, do quants thrive solo or function more as a tight group scoring wins without relying on any MVPs?
So for my work, I wish I can be able to significantly influence the market, but in reality, oftentimes we are not doing such a thing. So basically actually like in the time when I was working in my previous team, in the algorithmic trading team, like our focus instead of moving the market is totally opposite to it. Our focus is on how to hide ourselves from others and trying to predict the market so that we may follow the market. So like if the things that I would say I was most impressed by the Cornwall, I would say instead of more like individual contribution, it would be more like how the quant fund works around the world and how it evolved throughout time. So in this nowadays very different from previously. Maybe we hear some big names, some of them even like is like a stars, like a soccer star out there. But nowadays I'm more impressed by some of the fund that are able to industrialize the whole core research pipeline. And for some of the firm, what they do is that they develop a very sophisticated data infrastructure, research tooling, and capabilities. And after they have those things set up, they just plug in a lot of content in the pipeline and keep mining new alphas and able to keep producing like good P&L like without risk of any of the staff leaving a team impacting performance. So like in that sense, I would say the evolvement of the con industry is something truly impressive in terms of the management and also the setup in modern days.
Okay, so as you mentioned, I understand that life as a quant trader basically can get pretty hectic. And there is always the pressure to keep updating your knowledge and your understanding overall of the industry. So, just to help people around, what books or other resources on quant trading and investment do you enjoy the most to stay on the top of your game?
It may sound boring, but the books that I love the most are textbooks. So even though like I took a lot of math courses in the uni, but when in the workplace, actually it's oftentimes you encounter something that you never learned before. So recently one of the book I'm reading is on the complex optimization, and like this time, although I already take the course in uni, but I hope this time I can fully understand how it actually works in the background. And but on the other hand, at first, I was very reluctant on reading some practical books that are not the books that we read in the uni. As a lot of those type of like practical books are written by some random people who claim they know the stuff. But after I stay in the industry for a longer time, I found that if you choose the books really carefully, you will find that there are plenty of books actually written by seasoned and successful practitioners, and they are willing to share their knowledge in the domain after working in the industry for years. So those type of books I start to read more in recent days.
Okay. Well, I think that's going to be very useful for everyone here watching. And we know that sharp and quick instincts can also be basically game changing for traders. So, are there any simulations or games that you can recommend which can give our quant aspirants a taste of life as a quant trader, or even a game that you play to basically relax and train your mind?
So in order to mimic the environment of like trading, I would say any kind of non-deterministic games with like skills-based element in it would really helpful. So let's say like mahjong, we and also poker are some good examples. So of course, like when you play those type of gambling games, if you don't play with money, you don't care like how to play it well. So of course, when you play those games, if you play them with money, it would be very helpful. And the thing in common for those games is that it involve risk taking, risk management, self-control, and also like of course it needs some math, especially probabilities and countings. So as long as like I don't know whether you guys have heard the news before, like as long as you don't do anything illegal, like some traders that got arrested in Central like few years back due to opening a gambling shop, then it's good. It's good. Yeah. Just don't get arrested.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sure that everyone here is gonna stay in the legal scope. But to
Oh.
keep on asking you some questions, we'd like to get more insights into what the workplace dynamics look like for a quant trading or even quant development team. So could you tell us more about the usual atmosphere in the workplace?
So like for the co-working environment, I would say it's very different from the traditional, let's say, investment banking or some of the, let's say, financial reality TV show or movie you see out there is a bit different. So for a co-working environment, I would say is a very exciting place for the people that are pretty academical yet more practical. So I would compare it like I don't know whether you guys have watched a movie called The Big Short. I would say there's a company inside that movie. It's called Front Point Partners. You can imagine like it's Front Point Partners in there, but with way more data analytics and mathematics. So at the same time, one thing is that because the markets keep changing, the environment is pretty fast paced. So what the job of a quant like is to live in this like fast-paced environment in order to filter out signal from noise. At the same time, there's so many things happening at the same time. You need to identify like what kind of things that worth to devote your time to investigate further. But at the same time, although I mentioned the environment is pretty academical, but if you're overly academical, you might be spending too much time to find some golden rule or to find some like mathematical formula of describing garbage. So at the same time, like if you're too practical, the thing is that like you only know the like some intuition, etc. But if you don't have the language to describe, which is math in that sense, math and programming in that sense, you are not able to capture the golden opportunity. So it's more like a balance between like understand being practical and also being academical in the working environment.
Okay, I think that's great. And now that you talk about these human skills, I wanted to ask also typically how much interaction or collaboration should you expect in different roles, say across key roles, say quant research, trading, and development?
So unlike in the academia, actually we can see a lot of professor is just doing their own research and maybe sometimes doesn't need much collaboration. Like, but in the trading environment, there's a lot of time you need to collaborate and communicate with each others in order to make anything work. So let's say for quant traders, they often need to discuss with sales or other traders or researchers in order to like generate or like consolidate different ideas around the places. At the same time, like if you're a researcher and developers, there's a lot of time you need to talk with the quant traders for like inspirations, ideas, and directions in order to devote your time into it to get something done. So I would say you can expect you will spend a very significant part of your time that like spend it on communication and collaboration in any type of com role.
Okay, I think that's really interesting. So now that you're talking about basically teamwork and the work environment, what have you found most rewarding or supportive about the team dynamics of the organization that you've worked in?
So surprisingly, the thing that I found the most rewarding is that I make something that actually work. So it may sound stupid because in uni or in a lot of things happened in work, a lot of time those things will work as kind of as expected. But unlike like in school, like in finance, especially in quant, a lot of time when you deliver something, they are not contributing to any revenue or alpha in majority of the time. So whenever if I see my work actually helping to make money, I can be really happy. So yeah, this is not making things work is actually very rewarding in this field, I would say.
Okay, great. I mean, thanks for sharing. I'm sure that's going to be very helpful. But now we also wanted to ask, the last few years have been quite the roller coaster for the markets and basically all financial institutions. So could you tell us a little about any interesting industry stories or rumors, even gossips that you've encountered?
So like what I going to say is just a rumor because I hear from some places else and I have not validated it. So but what I have heard is that I think a few years back, like everyone who follow the news will know there's such a thing called Archegos. So when the Archegos incident happened, banks are holding a lot of positions that need to like just dump them. But toward the end, we know that Credit Suisse go bankrupt, while some other company that with Archegos still stay intact, like let's say Goldman Sachs. But why this is the case? So toward this like back to these days, what I've been heard is that like the Goldman trader left a network so that when the thing happened, they immediately can like dump the position before anyone else. While like the European traders, like for the Credit Suisse, people are sleeping peacefully at night, but not so after when they wake up. So this is the rumor I heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's insane. And I'm sure a lot of things like this are happening. So could you please share with us any other amusing or insightful stories or even personalities that you've encountered? So basically, especially when you started working in quants.
So I would say a lot of people that I encounter have like are really good at what they're doing. In particular, one of the person that I not closely work with, but I have worked with is the MD, like managing director of my previous team. So for him, one of the truly impressive thing is that was able to build the successful like algo trading platform from scratch across multiple institutions and successfully to build a team that with a very strong research and development capabilities. So like for that guy, like he is not just a manager, he can be a quant, he's also a developer and a very strong leader when a strong leader like when needed. And like whatever obstacles throw to him, he's still able to overcome it and eventually deliver the product that the business want. So I think the one of the most truly impressive thing is that like even though he is like a very senior and also he's a leader and also top management, he still would like put some of his time during the weekend and just basically doing some like hands-on work like coding and research. So I guess like no matter like if for every quant, so no matter if you are a junior, senior, or you are like very high up, you will still have the like motivation of doing some dirty work by themselves. So yeah, this is
I think that's great. And it also works as a big reference for everyone listening to our channel. But now we know that there's a lot of stories in the industry. So can you tell us about two myths about quant trading research industry that you'd like to bust for our quant members? Any lesser known facts that you think maybe they should know and we should know?
so I think maybe to you or to like people listening to the channel would think like quant is science and math like it can be proved. But like the longer I work in this field, I found quant is more like an art than science. So although like we use some very numerical, very definite thing like math and programming, which similar to like tool sets similar to the scientists, but the theories that we develop most of the time cannot stand the test of time. And but potentially and hopefully, the theories that we work on can generate some alpha. So no matter how sophisticated of your model or your programming are, the thing you build, or the question you're trying to answer, there's no definite answer like science did. So this is one thing. And second thing is that oftentimes the tooling that we use is no rocket science. So unless you're working on some very frontier firms with like a tons of PhDs running very advanced quantitative strategies, a lot of our work is simpler than your year 3 or 4 math final exam questions that have a tons of weird proofs in it. But what makes it difficult is not the technique we use, but often is that we need to choose the right tool. So no matter it's a very simple probability tools or optimization or numerical method, we need to find the right tool for the right problems. I would say this is the most difficult part as a quant instead of those very advanced like mathematics.
Okay, thank you for sharing. I'm sure it solved a lot of doubts. At least it did for me. And also, I wanted to ask, as a quant pro, you've tangled with data and crunched numbers basically like a champion. So have you hit any trick math puzzles along the way? And could you tell us about one and how you solved it? Any pro tips for the newbies diving into quant trading?
So as I mentioned in previous question, is that I found quant is more like an art and there's no definite answers to most questions. So I would say like one of the most tricky problem I encounter, or there's a lot of tricky problem I encountered that I found most difficult is that it's very hard to translate a trader's understanding into something that like to quantify their intuition about the market. So at one time that I'm offered with an intuition without any mathematical foundation. So basically what it means is that they tell me something, but it doesn't make any sense in terms of the math, or it doesn't make sense when I just look up at textbook. The thing that he mentioned does not exist at all. So but in there, like me and the trader have the common ground saying that, okay, it actually makes sense, but we just need to come up with a way that did not exist before to describe is an interest rate model, basically. So after like a lot of back and forth discussions and also talk with more people inside the firm, eventually we are able to understand what he actually wants and get like in depth into different kind of existing modeling methodologies, and eventually reconciled the existing methodology with his intuition and also able to construct a models on that. That model is not that difficult, but the difficult part is translating what he understood into that model. So for this kind of experience, it has been happening again and again through my career as a quant. But I found that like after working on this more often, the most important thing is understanding the problem than like trying to solve. Like if you don't have to understand the problem, it's very difficult for you to solve anything. So this is something I learned.
Okay, so I mean, throughout the interview, we've learned that basically you're like a wizard behind the curtain of trading, turning basically numbers into predictions. So can you let us into one of your secrets? Like, what's that one key ingredient in your recipe for risk management and decision making in the quant world?
Surprisingly, like a lot of time is common sense is the one of the most important things. So a lot of time, like whenever I do something right or wrong, or when I look back, those things become obvious and common sense. So it would be always good if one can develop more understanding about the market, and it would be an invaluable asset to your con career.
Okay, great. And now, basically diving deeper into your background, Henry, we know that you have someone with unconventional career choices, turning down offers like Goldman Sachs, Citadel, etc. Can you tell us about what motivated your decisions and how it has shaped your career as a quant specialist over the years?
So like I would say these offers that you mentioned are extremely exciting and also like excellent offers. Yet, but when I make decision, I mostly is based on my interest and also like long-term career goal. So like since I was young, I have been enjoying solve math problems and also appreciating like applying math in the real world. Like let's say for like studying physics. So I believe like if I am not fully enjoying the work, even the position or the money is very attractive, I could hardly grow as a professional. So with a profound interest in numbers, maths, and modeling, so I cannot imagine my career without involving them. So that's how I make my decision, and I never regret.
Okay. And I wanted to ask, have you ever heard of the saying that every master was once a disaster?
Yep, of course.
Okay.
I was a disaster and hopefully not now.
So taking us back to those early days on the quant battlefield, can you share a standout event or achievement from your rookie years that really set the pace for your career? So we're looking for that basically aha moment that sparked your trajectory, or a rookie triumph that turned you from a quant newbie into this Wall Street wizard that you are right now.
So like one thing I learned from like the previous job is that like no matter how sophisticated, complicated, and technical your model is, like so there's so many weird symbols, very advanced mathematics, even you know all these things and build a model out of it, but if that does not align with what the market do, then it does not work. And that's the moment I realized that techniques are not everything. So the longer I am in the industry, and the more I realize that like no matter what kind of technical stuff you have, like math, programming, are simply just an expression of your idea. And the job of a quant is to use whatever you have to express those ideas in terms of something that is actionable. So yes, like which coin would be more successful, a technical one or the one that knows the market? In my opinion, I would say the one that knows the market like wins. So although now I'm still far from being a Wall Street wizard, but I think this realization is definitely guiding me to the right direction to become a better quant.
Okay, thank you. Well, Henry, I think you've shared some really, really golden stories from deep in the markets polls, where plants, gods, and computer smarts all mix together. And this is where a single code can basically either shoot you to the stars or drop you back to square one, and all in a day's hustle. So you guys are like a rock band where every single member brings the heat, working together to find the market's rhythm. And so, yeah, basically remember and keep watching AQA for more eye openers like this in today's interview. Till next time, keep your calculators handy and your dreams speak. And who knows, maybe you're next in line to shake up the markets. So thank you, Henry. And thanks everyone for tuning in, and see you all soon.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Bye bye.